Hey, welcome to Genius Thoughts with Gene Bleeker. I am your eyes, ears, and voice of business, real estate, and the community. And I have a very, very special guest here with you today, Lorena Diana. Lorena, thanks for being on the program.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, you know what? I was so excited to ask you, and I was even more excited that you said yes. So it was definitely a win-win for me. And I'm glad you're my celebrity of the day.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I love asking this question. So tell me about yourself and your wonderful family. Love to hear about it.
So I'm a happily married wife. My husband, Fabian, we've been together since I was 14, but married now for 30 years. It'll be in July.
Really?
And we've got two gorgeous young women, Victoria, who's almost 25, and my baby, Amanda, who's almost 23. And I've just, enjoyed...
Victoria, I love that name.
Victoria. She was named after my father. His name is Victor. And Amanda's middle name, Amanda Marie, was named after my mom, whose name is Marie.
Got it.
So Maria, Mary, she's known as Mary.
Okay, so completely off guard, and you weren't expecting this question. So how'd you meet Fabian?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Fabian, it's a long story. I'm going to try to make it super short. So Fabian is the son of my godfather, who was the very first person my father met when he moved here from Argentina in the year 1971. I never met my husband until I was about 13 years old. And that was because my father and my godfather kind of lost track of each other. And so I didn't meet my husband, Fabian, until I was 13. He actually became best friends with my older brother and became kind of a part of our family. And years later, when I was 19, we started dating. And we got engaged about 10 months after dating and got married shortly thereafter. And we've been married ever since 1994.
Okay, so you got Victoria, you got Amanda, you got Fabian, you got yourself. Life is perfect.
Life is great. We've got a little dog, Abby, that we adopted years ago, and she's just a blessing.
Okay.
So we're complete.
Happy dog, happy life.
Happy dog, happy life. And my husband will say he didn't even win the battle of the girl-boy situation, even with the dog, because our dog's so even a girl. So,
all right. So I love asking this question. I do this at every show. Okay. So tell us something that the viewers don't know about you.
So most viewers or most people that initially get to know me don't realize that I spent a few years of my life living in Argentina. My family, my mom and my dad are both from South America, Argentina.
Did not know that.
Yes. And my husband actually lived his whole life in Argentina.
Really?
Until I met him, that he moved here when he was 21. And it was a great experience. I tend to visit Argentina every year now, obviously, because my husband's also from there. So we've got family there. But when I go to Argentina, most think that I'm just a local because I don't sound like I'm American. And when I'm here, most people don't realize I speak fluent Spanish because I guess I just sound American. So
you understand why I love asking that question. I had no idea the years that I've known you were from Argentina.
Yeah, most people don't. So it's kind of it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes I pick up on conversations I'm not meant to pick up on. Because they don't know that I speak Spanish. So, but it's been great. I've had lots of clients that have benefited from the fact that we can be really comfortable, speak Spanish. I can explain contracts in either language. I'm completely fluent. So most people don't know that.
See, that's why you're my celebrity today. That is why you are my celebrity. I told you she was
unveiled.
Good. Exactly. All right. So if you want to talk about secrets, so what was the very first job you ever had?
So the very first job I ever had was I was a cashier at SportsMart way back in the day. It must have been 1988, 87. I did that only for about 5 or 6 months just because I was one of those kids that wanted to kind of go out and earn my own. And my parents were always very much about just school was your number one. But and I was super involved in school, almost to a fault, too much. So a few months after that, I ended up becoming a lifeguard at school because I was on the swim team. So my coach was like, hey, we need a lifeguard. So I became a lifeguard. I did that through the first couple of years of college. It was wonderful.
How cool is that? Yeah. Okay, I love that. My first job was at Jack in the Box, by the way. You want to talk about humbling yourself?
Yeah, SportsMart was a rude awakening, let me tell you. There was some, yes.
What'd you get paid an hour?
Oh my gosh, back then at Sport Mart, I don't even remember. I think it was like $7 or $8.
Okay, mine was $1.10.
Oh,
Dollar
okay.
$1.10.
I don't know if I would have taken the job for $1 then.
You know what? But it was available.
Yeah.
And, you talk about humbling yourself. There's nothing more amazing than standing on a corner wearing a Jack in the Box outfit, waving to the
people
crowd
in.
when
Yeah.
they come in,
Yeah, I don't think I had it that hard at Sport Mart, but restocking and everything wasn't my thing. So that's why I guess 6 or 7 months later, when my coach said, "Hey, we need a lifeguard," it was a blessing.
You said, I'm in.
Yeah, I worked for LA Unified, and I was, working while I was training and made pretty good money. I mean, very good money.
Okay.
So, and then, I got my lifeguard training for beach lifeguarding. I never went to the beach. My dad was kind of opposed to that. So, typical South American Italian dad that was very protective. So,
I get that. God bless him for that.
Yeah.
So what did you do before you got into real estate? What was your business life like?
Oh, business life was, believe it or not, another thing most don't know about me was I was, wearing a white coat. I was a lab rat. I graduated from Cal State Northridge.
Rat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I graduated from Cal State Northridge as a biologist.
Okay.
And I thought I was going to go to med school. And I fell in love and got married young and, got a great job right out of school. I was working as an endocrinology research tech at a lab in Calabasas. And I loved it. But I realized shortly after I started working there that I kind of wanted to be very involved in my kids' life. I didn't have children then, but I was pregnant with my first, with Victoria. And my father was very involved in my life. My mom, super hard worker, but she had to get up at 5:30 in the morning and she wasn't home till 6. So she missed a lot of my training, my school activities, performances, competitions. And my dad could always find a way to at least pop in and show up because
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a realtor. He's been a realtor with Century 21 since 1970, the early 70s. I don't know exactly the date, but
happy to wear the gold jacket, right?
He's retired now, so I'm happy to have acquired his beautiful Rolodex of clients. But yes, so I was a lab rat. I lived in a lab for 10 hours a day.
Did your daughters ever go to college?
Well, both of my daughters, luckily, have graduated college. So we are a graduate family of 2. Victoria is a Penn State alum.
Amazing.
She graduated with a business degree, and Amanda is a Pepperdine University alum, just graduated this last May with a degree in sports medicine.
Okay, that's 2 home runs.
Yes, so I think Fabian and I have done okay. We're very proud parents.
And I'm sure your parents are very proud of your success as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, my mom and dad have been just the greatest role models.
I think you're a great role model as well because, you're part of the exclusive academy, and I'm so glad that that they put you into their family because I think you're amazing at what you do. But I know you've been nominated to be a Triple Crown winner, which means that you excel in client care, customer satisfaction, and community involvement. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Well, the whole reason I got into real estate was because I saw my dad serving his clients in so much more than just selling them a house. My dad said to me from the beginning, understand you're not selling vacuum cleaners. These people need to be in your life for life. So you need to make sure you're doing good by them. And so for me, having the trust of my clients is everything. And obviously being included in the academy is, it's a blessing and I'm grateful for it. And real estate is more than just houses. I mean, I feel like I become a part of these people's families and they reach out to tell me when their daughters are selling Girl Scout cookies or when there's a performance. And I try to be involved in all of that. And recently, as my daughters were growing up, I was very involved in their school through the PTA. I was a president and the vice president and treasurer. And I was so involved in all of that. And I feel like as they get older, you lose a little bit of that. And I didn't want to. So I became involved in the Seroptimist Society.
Great organization, right?
Yes. And that's been another huge blessing. I'm very happy to be involved in that. I'm hoping to do a lot more for the community. We're going to be doing some presentations with girls in the high schools to try to get them, to reach their potential and reach for the stars. So it means the world.
So I understand why you're being honored with customer care, client satisfaction, and community involvement. I mean, those are all the ingredients that you truly represent.
Thank you.
Or
Thank you.
You deserve that. This real estate market has really kind of gone upside down. I mean, there's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with our viewers your thoughts about real estate right now?
Yeah. So real estate right now is really difficult. And I think it's a difficult time because people have so much uncertainty. They're uncertain about their careers. They're uncertain about our economy. Their families are changing. Our environment in the Santa Clarita Valley is changing. So I feel like we need to be kind of their guide and let them know that, the right time will come for them. It may not be the right time for everybody, but I have always said, because I learned this from my dad, it's always a good time for real estate, whether it's to get into it, whether it's maybe to move around some of the things you already own. So COVID made us pivot. Real estate now is making us pivot. We're having to look for different ways of getting our clients into that very first home. And I'm doing that with my own children. Victoria is at that age where she's wanting to own. It's very difficult to make it work with our property values, but the good is being able to finally get these people into a house. They're incredibly proud and thankful when that happens. The bad is, going through the rough times when, the sales aren't there, when we're writing a bunch of offers that aren't being accepted, when we have great clients that unfortunately we have not been able to get into a property. So,
I don't mean to interrupt, but I mean, you are making it such a great question to answer. I want to say kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
Amazing. You got to keep going.
So yeah, it's just my whole purpose for continuing real estate is because to me it's a challenge, and I love being told no, you can't, and then proving that yes, I can, and I do that with my clients, and I love knowing that. Just a couple of months ago, I was with you and we were highlighting a listing of a family that was my very first client when I got into real estate 22 years ago. And they still keep coming back. And that is the absolute best.
So you're not about challenges, you're about solutions, right?
I try to bring solutions, right?
I think that's great because when I talk to my kids, I go, you can give me a challenge. But when you give me a challenge, let's come up with a solution.
Right.
I go, let's just don't talk about the negative.
Don't bring me just the problems. Bring me some answers.
What do you got for me?
Right, exactly.
Okay, I'm sad I didn't have another chair. I needed one more chair for today. I would have loved to have your father sit in with you because I think what a really great influence he was in your business. And he's given you some really great real estate advice.
And he still does. There are moments that, like now, my dad's seen cycles of real estate for his whole life. I mean, and he made it here in the United States as an immigrant.
Right.
And we went to Argentina and we lost pretty much everything. And we came back and he made it again. And it was always his desk at Century 21.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm going to be a success.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I would love to at some point have my dad join us and
that would be great.
Pick his brain.
So tell me a little bit more about your mom.
So my mom, Mary, is...
I hear she's a harder worker. She worked from morning, noon, and night, right?
Yeah, she is. She is my absolute rock star.
Okay.
I tell my mom that all the time. My daughters call her a rock star too. And she showed me that being a hard worker didn't mean that it just had to be about work. She was a hard worker. She was an amazing mom. She is an incredible grandmother. I'm grateful, and I'm going to get emotional, that my daughters have this amazing relationship with their grandmother.
That's awesome.
And she's such a guide, for them to see that you can work and you can be this great wife and you can be a great mom. Stick to your morals. She's such an upstanding person. And I say to my youngest daughter all the time that, she wants to get into medicine, and a lot of people now are saying, don't do it, do something else. My mom has always said, go with your heart, lead with your heart, and the rest, God has, he's got a plan. And she's just been so inspirational. And I could only wish to be half the woman my mom is. So I hope God gives her, an endless amounts of years so that she can continue blessing us with her love and savviness and
I think your grandchildren are going to say that about you.
I hope so. I hope so.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I can't imagine why not, because talking with you earlier, you were sharing with me about how your mom just worked all the time and she did what she had to do for the family. But you got very lucky with your dad that he was able to utilize real estate and do very well in real estate, but had enough time to venture out to see.
Yeah, his schedule was a little more open. My mom was, gone early in the morning. So she would leave usually. She worked at a cosmetics company in Westlake Village, but we lived in the valley. So she got up really early and came home, 6:00 at night, but still, talked with us in the kitchen while I was doing homework, made dinners every night. We had great family dinners, typical Italian South Americans.
Right.
We'd sit for a couple of hours. Dinner was a big thing. And still, while she was cooking, she was, influencing me, and she was, giving me, encouragement and wanting to know how school was and who my friends were.
Cool.
And, weekend trips to the mall with mom were always,
where'd you go shop in the mall? What mall?
God, the Northridge Mall.
Okay.
It was a thing. Yeah, we'd go to the mall, and one of my favorite things is anytime I'd go to the mall with my mom, we'd maybe spend a couple hours at the mall, sometimes buy something, sometimes not at all. It's just about spending time together.
Right.
And we'd always end it with a pack of tacos from Taco Bell. And it was either that or Tommy's fries.
Okay.
And we'd sit, we'd chat, and it was great.
That's so cool.
Life was simple, but it was good.
So where'd you grow up in the Valley?
I grew up in the San Fernando. Oh my God. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I was born in North Hollywood.
Okay.
My family bought their first house in Van Nuys, and we lived there. Then it became Lake Balboa. From there, we moved to North Hills, and I pretty much was the best years of my life. I think the most that I remember were in that house in North Hills, which is the house my parents just sold last year to move up here to Valencia. But I was born and raised in the Valley. North Hills was my home. I went to school there. I graduated high school from that house. I got married, walked out of that house in my wedding gown. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was great.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Birmingham. I'm a Brave, a proud Brave. They're Patriots now, but I'm a Birmingham Brave, class of 91.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears completely again, if that's okay with everybody. So who is your greatest mentor in life?
So my greatest mentor in life, I would have to say is, this is going to sound corny, but I would say as far as a life mentor, it would have to be my mom.
Okay.
As a female, it's hard sometimes wanting to have a career and still wanting to be a great mom. In our culture, South American culture, being a mom is a very big deal. And being a wife is a very big deal. It's, we want to take care of our husband and take care of our children and take care of the home, so I'm not saying that I'm Susie Homemaker. I don't knit, and I don't really like to sew. I sew when I have to, but I can find my way around the kitchen pretty well. And I feel like my mom has always been that idol for me. So as far as a life mentor, my mom, 100%. In business.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. Who was your business mentor?
In business, my mentor in business would have to be my father, just because I fell into real estate because I saw him doing something that was way beyond whatever his career was. It was more than just selling the homes. He was making families happy, and kind of coming from wanting to go to med school when I was younger. The reason I wanted to go to med school is because I wanted to serve people and I wanted to do better for people. And I didn't get to do that in med school, but in a very different way, I saw my dad doing that for people, giving families this opportunity at having their own home and having their children grow up in their own home, that they had stability. And it wasn't about, my landlord's going to kick us out or the rent's going to go. It was their home. And that's a huge thing.
That's so cool.
So I'm fortunate to say that my mentors in life are my parents, and I can still pick up the phone or just drive down the street because I have them really close now.
That's so wonderful. All right. I must have said that's so cool 7 or 8 times.
You're Mr. Wonderful.
But I love your story. I mean, you did such a great job.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts you want to share with us today?
Final thoughts are just I'm going to keep pushing. I love what I do. I hope I get to do it for a very long time. I hope the the market changes to where we can make more people happy and just keep giving to the community. I love Santa Clarita. I know we're going through some changing times, but it's still awesome town to me.
It definitely is. Ladies and gentlemen, my celebrity, Lorena Diana.
Thank you, Gene.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you, Santa Clarita.